Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Office of Admissions at Burnett School of Medicine's MD webinar and our webinar series to Becoming a Frog Doc. Let's get started and learn what it means to become an empathetic scholar at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU. This is our Office of Admissions here at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU. Starting with our Assistant Dean of Admissions, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Kevin Kidder.
Hi, and welcome everyone. We are truly thrilled that you are interested in applying to the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU. We hope that this webinar will provide you with insights and tools on how to prepare a competitive application. If along the way you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or my office. We are happy to help you, and we are here to guide you along the process from first filling out your primary application to all the way through matriculation. So again, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are here for you every step of the way.
Everyone, my name is Christina Ayala, and I serve here as our Director of Admission, and we look forward to seeing your applications.
Hello, I am Bridget Sheehan. I'm the Director of Financial Education and Scholarship.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bridges. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions.
Hi, I'm Rachel Long. I'm the Financial Education and Scholarship Advisor.
Hi, I'm Riley Odom. I am the Admissions Counselor.
Hello, y'all. I am Bobby Stackhouse. I'm the Administrative Program Specialist for the Office of Admissions at Burnett School of Medicine.
All right, so before we dive in, here's a QR code to fill out our student interest form to let us know you were here today and to receive information on future events, including future webinars. So I'm going to pass it off now to Rachel Long, our financial aid advisor, a TCU undergrad alum and Fort Worth native who will share more about TCU in the great city of Fort Worth.
Hi, everyone. So excited to get to tell you all the reasons why I love TCU and why you should too. One of the biggest ones you can see here is TCU has a wide, robust athletic programming. So you can see at the back of this photo our beautiful football stadium. As a student at the Burnett School of Medicine, you have access to all athletic events that happen at TCU. So this means all football games, all basketball games, baseball, soccer, tennis, swimming, volleyball. We have sand and indoor volleyball. And so there's really all sorts of activities for you to do just on campus. Here you can also see, if you really look close, that they have a stage set up. TCU hosts concerts all the time. So this past year we had Kelsey Ballerini perform, Kesha performed. We've had Luke Bryan, Blake Shelton, really huge names that have come in the past. And it also makes for a really fun way for you to bond with your fellow classmates and take a break from studying. In addition, we also have a state-of-the-art recreational facility for workout equipment. It's got an indoor and outdoor swimming pool. The outdoor pool is really nice to keep cool in this Texas heat that we're starting to experience this summer. And in general, you can see it's a beautiful campus. It's a wonderful place to go to school. And even though you'll spend most of your time at Arnold Hall, this campus still has great study resources for you and a lot of things that are just going to make your experience even better. And now I'm really excited to tell you more about the city of Fort Worth and why the city that houses the Burnett School of Medicine is also such a great place to live. So as you can see here, we're the 12th largest city in the country. I was born and raised in Fort Worth. I've lived here for a long time, and we're a pretty amazing place to live. Our population is quickly approaching 1 million. We're outpacing Austin in terms of growth. It's a wonderful community filled with diverse people and age ranges. You can see here that the average age range is 31, but you all are going to find that the patient population that you work with are going to run the gamut in terms of age. And you're going to find somebody from all walks of life, and it's really going to allow you to get a robust medical education while you all are here. And our annual economic impact is expected to be $4 billion starting in 2030, which is going to be a really incredible investment in this city and in my home, and what will hopefully become your home when you're here for 4 years at Burnett. So next slide. Yeah. And this is also just a wonderful photo. So this is overlooking downtown, which is where our school is going to be really close to. You can see here we have trails for you to walk. If you're an outdoorsy person, you can run, walk, or bike. You see people with their dogs. There's so much for you to do. Our school is also really close to the hospital, so it creates this really vibrant community for you to be in. Near Southside is a really wonderful area with delicious food and incredible people. And so you are also going to find that this city is really going to serve just as this incredible foundation for your medical education as you learn more about different people. And you also get to experience a little bit of fun. We have our historic stockyards as well, which you can't really see in this photo, but you'll just have to come visit us and you guys can see them then. So now I will pass it on to the next.
Thanks, Rachel. This is Jennifer. And as Rachel was saying, we do have a new campus, and it is in the heart of Fort Worth's medical district. Burnett School of Medicine at TCU has continued its investment in not only Fort Worth, but Tarrant County and the state of Texas with our brand new building in the city's near South Side neighborhood. Construction was recently completed on a 4-story, approximately 100,000 square foot medical education building in the northeast corner of South Henderson and West Rosedale Streets. This is the perfect location for our new medical school. It is in walking distance to many of our clinical partners. We will drive economic development and biomedical advances through partnerships with hospitals, healthcare organizations, and biotech industries. So let me go ahead and start telling you a little bit about empathetic scholars. Our mission here at Burnett School of Medicine is to transform healthcare by inspiring empathetic scholars. Empathetic scholars are outstanding communicators, they're active listeners, and lifelong learners who are highly valued as physicians, colleagues, leaders, and citizens in their community. Our graduates are compassionate, empathetic, and prepared to discover the latest knowledge in medical care with the tools to ask and answer the medical questions of the future. Along with the ability to walk in a patient's shoes, these physicians excel in the science of medicine. An empathetic scholar embraces the importance of humanism and self-directed inquiry, active learning, and application of knowledge in a patient-centered curriculum, and they exhibit compassion, teachability, altruism, insight, humility, collaboration, integrity, and respect. Thanks for listening. I'm going to pass this off to Christina now.
So again, my name is Christina, and I'd like to share with you a bit more about our curriculum, our clinical experiences, and our well-being program. Our curriculum's intention is to create exceptional physician communicators who can listen and care for patients. We do that through a few different longitudinal courses, which means that you'll take those courses beginning in the first year of the curriculum, and you'll find yourself in some of those same courses as a fourth-year medical student. So first, we'll talk about preparation for practice, which is going to give you the practical knowledge and real-world problem and professional development that you need to excel in 21st century medicine. This is going to include 12 different themes that all of our current physician faculty wish that they had content and exposure to when they were training as physicians. Another is our scholarly research pursuit and thesis, affectionately called SPT by many of our students. And I would advise you to go to our website and look at all the SPT projects that some of our past students have done. And this is really is able to be your passion project, and it can be designed to be in a content area, in an area where you're truly interested. And you'll spend all 4 years of your journey with us engaged in your SPT project. Another is our simulation and technology, and we are thrilled in our new building to have what we are affectionately calling Super Floor, which is going to give you access to all of the cutting edge simulation tools and immersive learning to learn about healthcare today. Now we'll talk a little bit about clinical experiences. We call this model longitudinal integrated clerkship, or affectionately LIC. And this is going to be where you'll have exposure to patients as early as your first month of medical school. This LIC is pairing you with a one-on-one mentor and a faculty clinician to promote empathy and establish patient-centered care. Other components of the curriculum that are important for you to note, we have mandatory attendance here in a small cohort size of just 60. You will note that it is notable if you are absent. Another is our flipped classroom or peer-based inquiry learning. These are two unique ways that our students engage with faculty as well. Our students move through 3 phases during their curriculum, and we do not offer AOA. All of our courses are pass-fail with no honors or rankings. Okay, and then lastly is our well-being program. We have a director of well-being under our student affairs team. We have a well-being student interest group, and collectively we want our students to feel as if they have all of the resources that are required through coaching, academic advising, as well as learning specialists to make sure that as 360 learners, they have all of their needs addressed. Okay, I'm going to pass this back over.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. So all of our medical students reach their culminating events at the end of their medical school journey. The first being Match Day. That is a national event that takes place every year where medical students find out where they match for residency. And it is a very exciting event that the entire school is there for and gets to celebrate with these medical students when they find out where they're going. Followed by their SBT thesis presentations. Again, like Christina said, there is that 4-year research project that they're working on, and they get to show it off, and they get to share it with their classmates as well as the rest of the School of Medicine. And then there's the hooding ceremony, which is a more class-centered experience that takes place the day before graduation, which is shared with the greater TCU community. So our school by the numbers, we have 60 students per cohort. This allows for us to have a better sense of belonging, support, and camaraderie for our students and their classmates. We have currently over 1,400 faculty members and growing. And then we have a 0-year wait time before they see patients because of that LIC model. Our medical students will start seeing patients within their first month with us and continue to see patients every week through the first year. This is one of the many reasons that our students choose the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU is for the patient exposure that they receive with us. We estimate around 31,000 jobs to be generated by 2030. So to apply, we require 90 credit hours that have been completed at a US or Canadian institution. We do not require a certain degree to apply and only look at those prereqs and GPA and MCAT scores that we'll go over later. Our class of 2023 had a 100% match rate, including matches at Stanford, Tufts, and Mayo Clinic. Our class of 2024 just had all 60 students match with our first matches in dermatology and plastic surgery, which is very exciting for us. We have a 4-year allopathic program, which means we are a traditional medical school, but our curriculum is not, which we will get into more about in the next slides. And I'm going to pass it off to Bridget Sheehan, our Director of Financial Education and Scholarships.
Thank you, Riley. So some exciting news for you is that almost all of our students will receive a 15% tuition grant. So this is for any student that doesn't have tuition covered by other scholarships or grants. So this tuition grant, the School of Medicine grant, does increase when tuition increases. So again, good news for you. The Financial Education Scholarship Office, we do pride ourselves in a robust financial education curriculum. So what this means is that you will meet with me or Rachel Long throughout your time as a student at the Burnett School of Medicine, and we meet frequently to talk about budgeting and any financial aspects for your medical education. In addition, we do have scholarships. There's no formal scholarship process for you to apply. Any scholarship money that's available to you or that you're eligible for, you'll be given automatically. So there's no other application process. The criteria for those scholarships often vary. They are based on donor needs and what they want, what they specify for that scholarship. So we can't guarantee that you'll be eligible for the scholarships, but we will give you any money that you're eligible for. And I would like to add that we have had a great scholarship amount, about $500,000 for this current year that students have been awarded. And I'll pass it back to Riley.
Thank you, Bridget. So the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU is a private institution in Texas that utilizes the AMCAS system. We are not on TMD SAS like most Texas medical schools. We accept students who do not have an American citizenship, are a non-US resident, and or have a DACA status. We do not have an in-state preference given that information. So we are about 80% of our students came from out of state this last cohort. And we are fully accredited by LCME, and we holistically review our applicants by not just looking at the attributes listed, but reviewing their personal statement, letters of recommendation, and other application components that we will talk more about in the next slides. Here's a snapshot for our average stats for the class of 2027. They had a 511 MCAT score and an overall 3.7 GPA. Every year, our class profile has improved, and students should review the class profile before applying. Our class of 2028 should hopefully be up soon, but they are still matriculating. So 70% of our students have taken at least one gap year, which we like to call a growth year, and we do not hold that against you, and is a question we get pretty frequently. We do suggest that building an application is for success, not speed, and we make sure that you do your best and show that who you are as a candidate. Now I'm going to pass it off to our Director of Admissions, Christina Ayala, to talk more about application-specific information.
So much. Great job, Riley. So one of the other common errors that we see in the application is the prerequisite matching. So on our website, we have also defined out what is a humanities course and what is a social science course. So I would definitely recommend that you spend some time and making sure that when you send in your secondary application, you've matched those appropriate contents. Additionally, on this slide, you'll see our science prerequisites, which are including now biochemistry, physiology, and 2 additional science courses. We also require statistics and an English course. There is no exception to the B-. We get that question from time to time as well. We will require a B- in the science courses that are all listed above. At this time, we are still taking AP, CLEP, IB type credits. So if you have those and they've transferred to your undergraduate institution and those are reflected on your transcripts, we will typically also be accepting those as well. Next slide, please. As for letters of recommendation, we're only requiring 1 recommendation letter this cycle. There is no limit to the number of letters that you can submit. If I had to reflect on the time I've spent with our admissions committees in the past, they would tell you to be mindful of who you select as your recommenders. One of their all-time favorites comes from a Starbucks manager that spoke to the work ethic and teamwork of one of their employees. So ensuring that you've chosen people who can truly speak to that empathetic scholarship mission that Jennifer referenced earlier is definitely going to be in your best interest as you select recommendation writers for this cycle. Next slide, please. Okay, we're really excited this year. This will be our first season with Casper and Duet. So Casper is a situational judgment test. You can find more information about signing up for that SJT on our website. This is going to give us some of those non-academic skill assessments that are important to becoming a physician. And then secondly is the Duet assessment, which is a parallel mission fit assessment that will help our faculty understand and our staff understand a bit more about how your specific mission into medicine aligns with ours. Next slide. Our essay questions have been posted since late spring on our website, and these will be the largest part of our secondary application. So we do recommend that students adhere to the 300 limit for each question, and that those are given careful time and attention. These 2 essays, in addition to your personal statement and AMCAS, will be carefully reviewed by the admissions committee. Next slide. Excellent. And so now the most important part. So hopefully your application season is productive and goes well. And then next up would be our MD interview days. So we have a 3-day virtual process. We do not offer any in-person interviews. So the first is an optional day where you would actually spend about an hour on Sunday evening, sort of shaking out those jitters with some of our current students. And they're here to answer any questions you have about the interview, about the medical school specifically, about who some of the staff and faculty will be that you meet over the next 2 days. And then on Monday, beginning around 12 p.m. Central Time, you can log into your Kira platform, and at promptly 1 o'clock, we start a VMMI. And students have about 2 minutes per question to read and reflect, and then they have 7 minutes to engage with their MMI rater. And those raters are made up of all types of individuals from our community. They include physicians, faculty, staff, community members, a really wide breadth of individuals that make up the fabric of the Fort Worth community here. Then we give you a short break for about 45 minutes before you come online to meet with our founding dean. And he does this about 12 to 13 times a cycle. He's so excited to meet with our applicants and get to see all of you. And so he'll spend a couple hours talking about the formulation of the Burnett School of Medicine and sort of a lot of those structural components that he put in place to make sure that for the longevity of Burnett School of Medicine, we were training empathetic scholars. And then lastly, so it's a longer day, about 12 to 5 on Monday, but then Tuesday is a bit lighter. So you encourage you to come in casual dress, and we have a panel of faculty and staff and a lot of our senior leadership team from student affairs to curriculum. And they'll be able to talk with you through our house party experience about what they bring to all of our prospective students and future students throughout their different areas. And that's a popcorn Q&A where you can bring your own questions and engage with current students, faculty, and staff. Next slide. Okay, so our application timeline has already begun, likely if you're listening to this now. So in early May, we opened our AMCAS application. Our MSOR is also up to date. So if you have been using that in preparation, that is another helpful resource to use. We always encourage students to submit earlier. Our interview process may begin as early as mid to late summer. So students that have completed applications by the end of spring have really positioned themselves as a priority for review. And that's really important so that you have all the information that you would need to provide in order for us to potentially select you for the interview days. So we, again, will be starting interviews hopefully towards the end of July. And I really, truly mean end of July. So if you haven't heard anything by July 15th, Bobby was happy to answer your emails in the MD inbox, but just hang on a little bit longer. It's going to be truly the end of July this season. And then we'll begin following the AMCAS traffic rules protocol by releasing admission decisions starting on October 15th. Our primary application deadline is going to be November 15th, with secondary submissions and those final essays being due December 15th. We hope to conclude all of our MMIs, ice storms in Texas permitting, by the end of January. And then we will hold our annual second look weekend in early spring. This is traditionally in the month of March. And then our final culminating event before the admissions office sort of departs in its engagement with each of you would conclude at the welcome week, where our incoming class would come and have their white coat reception and transition fully into the curriculum. Next slide. Okay, so some of our most frequently asked questions include, what is the latest MCAT that you accept? And that is going to be at years 22, 23, and 24 for the entering class of 2025. And so if you are an eager student listening to this as a potential class of 26 or 27, you can just count back those 3 years to do that as well. We also do not make exceptions to this rule typically either. We have gotten that question in the past, but unfortunately, typically within these past 3 years is how we identify academic skill set and readiness. There is no limit on our prerequisite courses, for example, so we really rely on these test scores to make sure that applicants are meeting the academic thresholds for medical school. The other question that we get often is, what degree or major should I have? And we've had students from music and journalism and sports casting, lots of different backgrounds. So you are able to apply here as long as you meet that prerequisite course list and you have 90 credit hours within the US or Canada. Can I still apply if I have not completed my prerequisites? Absolutely. You can certainly put your intended courses in AMCAS, and we'll reach out to you if you're selected for an interview to confirm that you are taking that course and would meet our requirements. And then lastly, do we accept non-US resident applicants? And as Riley has mentioned, regardless of citizenship status, we are open to reviewing all types of applicants, including DACA and undocumented students, international students. Again, though, the caveat is that you must have 90 credit hours completed at a US or Canadian institution. And I am going to wrap us up by just reminding all of you that this QR code is super important to stay in touch for future webinars with the Burnett School of Medicine. And as our dean said at the beginning of this presentation, we genuinely want to get to know you and want to stay engaged with you throughout this process. So if you have any questions, please do email mdadmissions@tcu.edu and that website or that email address here on our screen. Thank you so much, everyone, and we wish you the best on your journeys into medicine.